How can you possibly stand out in a world where an endless number of people, companies, and brands are competing for everybody's attention? Advertising is a $560 billion industry. The average person is exposed to 5,000 ads per day. I don't know about you, but that number for me is scary. Scary as a consumer and scary as a small business owner. Because if I want to advertise, or when I'm working on my branding and positioning, this is the reality. 5,000 ads a day is what I'm up against. So if you're a local business, a service provider, you're a physiotherapist, or you have a restaurant, how can you stand out in this noise and be memorable? Why do you want to be memorable? Because people will buy from you or refer you to a friend only if they can remember you. So let's have a look at a few people and brands who have figured out how to be different, how to be instantly recognizable. When it comes to products or services, of course, the first thing is to push their logo, their dominant colors, and slogan in advertising. But that requires a huge amount of time and money. Some brands have chosen a shape for their product that's different from the competition, so it stands out and it's easy to describe to a friend. On a market where every wine bottle looks exactly the same, J.P. Chenet came up with this funky bottle with a crooked neck. Every chocolate bar looks the same, but there is one that stands out because it's triangular. Toblerone. Which Scotch whiskey has that beautiful triangular bottle? Grant's whiskey, and their high-end single malt whiskey, Glenfiddich. When it comes to personal brand, especially in the music industry, artists come up with the craziest ideas to look different. Huge glasses, black and white hair, very short hair, green hair, pink hair, you name it. Same or similar thing happens in the business world. Who comes to your mind when I describe this person's outfit? Sneakers, jeans, and black turtleneck. Steve Jobs. Maurice Smith, a premier Facebook marketing expert, is rarely seen wearing a color other than light blue. That's her signature look. So when you go to a conference, you can easily spot her in the crowd. Then there's this curious guy called Matthew Lesko who helps businesses get government grants. And he wears, apparently even on a normal day or on the street, suits that have question marks on it. So you see, people and brands have to try all these crazy things to stand out, to be memorable, desperately trying to be different. Whereas you already have something that makes you memorable, that makes you different. You're a foreigner. You're interesting already because you come from somewhere else. I bet there is not a single person who doesn't ask, "Wow, where's your accent from?" And I also bet that frustrates the hell out of you. I understand because it used to frustrate me too. I was always like, why can't I be perceived like everyone else? Why can't I lose my accent? When will I blend in? But I realized that that was the case while I was employed. I didn't want to stand out. I didn't like being different. I wanted to dress like, speak like, and sound like my British colleagues in London or my Australian colleagues here in Perth. But an interesting thing happened when I became an entrepreneur again and started networking. In a marketplace, even in a small city like Perth, there are thousands of photographers, hundreds of good videographers and marketing professionals. Yes, I'm unique already because I combine all three, but people will not remember your positioning that you worked on so hard. They will not remember the technical details of your product or service that set you apart from your competition. It's important for you, and you get hung up on the details because you're living inside of that world. You're literally living and breathing it. But for an outsider, those are boring and unnecessary details. They will only remember you and your product if you're different. The only thing that was stuck in their mind is the difference. If you're the triangular chocolate, and as a foreign entrepreneur, you have this huge advantage as default. where other businesses blend into one, or they have to sweat blood to come up with something, anything that makes them different, you're set. Now, let me give you a moment to think about it. Think about all of your competitors in your field, in your city. What makes them memorable? Does any of them stand out? If they go to a networking event, will anyone remember them? And now, do you know anyone? Do you remember anyone with an accent? Do you know what they do? I've met hundreds of new people in the past 12 months, and I can clearly remember the Iranian personal shopper, the French graphic designer, the marketing guru from Cambodia, the American podcast producer, the Scottish LinkedIn expert, and so on and so on. Yes, as you can see, your nationality will become part of your name, part of your tagline. Or if they can't remember where you're originally from, you will become the XYZ professional with an accent. But people will remember you. While that sinks in, let me make you feel even better about your accent, about sounding different, looking different. Let's have a look at celebrities who have embraced their uniqueness, and they embraced their accent and made it an integral part of their persona. And some actors had to try and fake an accent to make their character more likable, relatable, and more unique. Peter Sellers as Jacques Clouseau, Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams putting on an interesting Icelandic accent in the film Eurovision, Dev Patel in Slumdog Millionaire and The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel and the sequel, Meryl Streep speaking with a Polish accent in her film Sophie's Choice. She also won her first Oscar for her performance. Adrian Brody speaks with a French accent playing Salvador Dali in Midnight in Paris. And the list goes on. Now, full disclaimer. Having a cool accent, being memorable and easy to refer is not enough. That alone will not make you successful. Your service or product has to speak for itself. But having an accent will be the biggest characteristic that will set you apart from your competition. So use it to your advantage. Work on your speech clarity if you have to, but just embrace it. Your attitude and how you feel about having an accent will be mirrored inside the people you talk to. If you feel awkward about it, they will feel awkward about you too. But if you don't give it any importance and you practically forget about having an accent because you're just so happy to communicate and you're enthusiastic about your business, that's when people can't help but say and think that, oh, you have a lovely or charming accent. Because you are being charming. It all comes from within. I hope I gave you a few things to ponder on, a different angle to look at your accent and how to use it to your advantage. Give this video a like if you got value out of it, and subscribe if you're building and growing your business as a foreigner in your new chosen country. And I will see you in the next video.